That is genuinely bowel loosening. I've never really felt anything quite like how this car accelerates. Oh my God. Every single time I'm taking an Aston over a Porsche, they get absolutely crushed on depreciation. If you're looking for something in this price point, you have to consider one of these. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are in a 2020 Aston Martin DBS Superleggera. Today we're going to take out the DBS and discuss what makes this such a phenomenal bargain on the used market. This car new was about $350,000 and now they've come down to the $160,000 range, and it will continue to drop because this is a British hand-built sports car. But you're getting so much in this package. Incredible looks, remarkable power. If you haven't noticed so far, this spec is absolutely jaw-dropping, I think. I mean, white exterior, pretty subtle, but with this just insane blue interior, makes it truly special. So let's go ahead and go for a drive. In the DBS, we are working with a 5.2 liter twin turbocharged V12, 715 brake horsepower, a top speed of 211 miles an hour. Enormous figures for such an elegant car. 0 to 60 takes about 3.3 seconds. It feels a hell of a lot quicker than that though. I was driving this thing the other day, fully warmed up, and the tires were spinning in fourth. Of course, the great thing about this being an Aston Martin is that it is just fabulous to drive on a back road and also fabulous to drive in traffic on your normal commute. This being an 8-speed ZF automatic transmission, it's a very commonly used transmission. Responds nicely in automatic. I'm not going to drive an automatic right now because I have a 715 horsepower V12. Right. So now we're kind of entering on some back roads here. And by back roads, I mean they're not. This does have a bit more burble backfire compared to a DB11. It's a little bit louder, and compared to a DB11, it is noticeably more antsy and just kind of on edge. You know, like this car encourages you to drive quickly. The DB11 doesn't. DB11 is a pure cruiser, and while this can be that, this just, it kind of eggs you on a bit more. Oh, that is a monstrous surge of torque. I've never really felt anything quite like how this car accelerates. You know, when you're in a Huracan or when you're in a 488, there's a sense of, okay, it's starting to kind of let off as you change through the gears. This doesn't. When you shift, it just starts all over again with the same amount of ferociousness. Look, we're in second, third. Now it should let off now, and it's not. The third gear pull should not feel as quick as the second gear pull. It's just wild power delivery. In the back end, okay, we're going 12. Where is this person going? Who are you people? Now, I will also preface, you can switch through 3 different drive settings as well as your suspension settings separately, which is very appreciated. Normally, you're kind of stuck with one or the other. This, you have your GT mode, just your default street setting, kind of boring. Sport mode, which I'm in right now, and then you have Sport Plus, which of course is sort of like your track setting. But if you're going to be stuck behind an NPC going 12 miles an hour in a Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross, this is a pretty good place to be stuck in. Yeah, in the corners, it does have very sharp turn-in, like just barely turning the wheel. It does a fantastic job. It does shrink the weight a bit. Not that it's that heavy of a car, but Superleggera, this car is not super light. Sport Plus, and see what changes. Sounds a little bit louder. That could just be me. Let's put on Sport Suspension as well, which immediately does firm everything up. I can already feel it. It just, you don't even have to give it full throttle. I'm in fourth, and it feels like I'm in second. Oh. That is genuinely bowel loosening. And in terms of the suspension, obviously this being an Aston, it's going to be pretty subtle over the bumps. Yeah, like that is totally acceptable. Aston Martins are always that perfect middle ground between luxury and sportiness. It's not going to be as plush as a Bentley, but it's not going to be as intense and hardcore as a Lamborghini Huracan. It's that perfect middle ground, which most of these car manufacturers don't really provide. It's usually hardcore this way, hardcore that way. This has always been just in the middle. It's a beautiful balance. So, on the current used market, these have come down now to the mid to upper $100,000 range on average. We actually have this example for sale right now. This one only has 9,000 miles on it. It is a 2020, second model year of the DBS, and just a wild, as we obviously have shown, spec. But you can find the 19s with some miles on them for around 150,000 range, which is a bargain. There's no way around it. It just is. They get absolutely crushed on depreciation. And I can't lie, this interior will make you aroused. Oh. Revs to 7,000 RPM. Astons make such a nice noise. It's so hard to ignore that. Oh my God, it's so... Does it limit torque in the first 2 gears? It has to. There's no way it doesn't. But sitting in traffic, as you would imagine, pretty spacious in here. Visibility is not the best in that traditional Aston Martin fashion. That is the trade-off you get for the stunning exterior looks. It's not bad though, right? I mean, it's no Lamborghini Aventador. I do have a lot of space in here. I'm 6'4". Legroom is good. Excluding this lovely blue interior, this was a pretty laughable interior for 350 grand when it was new. Now for $160,000, I think it's suitable. It's acceptable. No one else really does stitching like Aston Martin. Got your Bang & Olufsen sound system as well. Speakers pop out of the dash. Yes. And all the newer Astons use previous generation Mercedes tech and software inside. So it's much more intuitive and just easy to use than the older Astons, which had this horrible Volvo system that made you want to commit crimes against humanity. And I will say there's no reason why this car needed to be $350,000 new. This car new should have been like $250,000. And it is pretty much just the same interior as the DB11. It's not different enough from the DB11 to justify that price jump. Aston since then, of course, has made their interiors much nicer. The price point is wild to me. Even the new Vanquish for $580,000 is probably the most diabolical piece of information I've ever read. And Astons, you know, they are sort of compared a lot to Porsches. This car doesn't have an exact rival from Porsche. I mean, more so Ferrari, like the Ferrari 812. And that car, of course, is going to be a bit more of an exotic flair to it. This is a much more elegant, much more beautiful car, in my opinion. Much more gentlemanly. I would much rather have an Aston Martin over a Porsche. Even though a Porsche is 100% a better made, better built, better engineered car, I just love the specialness and the uniqueness and the beauty of Astons. Every single time I'm taking an Aston over a Porsche. And Astons, like, they just have this sort of aura about them that when someone pulls up in one, it makes you want to know more about that person. There's just this sense of that person's different. Oh, I feel like I just teleported to a different galaxy. Like, that genuinely has to feel like what Obi-Wan Kenobi feels when he... Only complaint is that this, along with the Vantage and DB11, is a bit jerky. When you're in stop-and-go traffic, it tends to just lurch forward really sensitively. Oh, I can get over that though. So yeah, I mean, if you're looking for something in this price point, you have to consider one of these. It's too much of a total package to just ignore, right? It's a great daily driver. It's got a proper trunk. It has back seats if you don't have any legs, or if you're a pirate. I would absolutely destroy continents in this car. While Aston is using the AMG V8s now for many of their cars, The V12s are still made in-house, which is very nice to know. I feel like reliability-wise, these cars have come a long way. The internet has a certain stigma about these cars. I feel like they've really improved a lot on some of the, and honestly, even the last generation Astons, I thought, seemed to be pretty reliable, actually. The previous era of Aston Martins, the 04 to 2016, 2017, that was my favorite era of Aston Martin design. I don't think they'll ever compare to that, but I do think this new era of Aston is also superb. You know, in this interior spec, it is a lot for some people. Some people might think this is absolutely hideous, but I think if you're gonna buy a supercar or any kind of exotic car like this, make it insane. Yes, Astons do look good with silver and tan and classy colors, so I get for an Aston it is a little much. This would be more normal in like a McLaren or a Lamborghini, but that's what makes a car like this so fun, is that you didn't need to make it blue and orange in here. They could have just made it black, but they didn't. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel down below, and I will see you guys in the next one.